For decades, Airbus and Boeing have shaped commercial aviation through successive aircraft. From the Airbus A300 in the 1970s and the Airbus A380 to the Boeing 777 family, both manufacturers have redefined airline fleets worldwide. So in this video, we take a look at why Airbus has delayed its next clean sheet aircraft until at least 2031, what technologies are already under development, and why supply chain problems, engine delays, and record order backlogs have become a bigger priority than redesigning an entirely new airplane. And be sure to check out Simpleflying's flight tracker. From live alerts and data on commercial, military, and government flights, it goes way beyond your standard tracker. It was built specifically for avgeeks, free and live, right at your fingertips. During the Airbus Summit in Toulouse last year, the manufacturer outlined several of the developments and technologies it expects to feature on its future narrow-body aircraft. It said the aircraft would be designed to operate entirely on sustainable aviation fuel, or SAF, and target a 20 to 30% reduction in fuel burn. One of the biggest changes under development is a new wing. Airbus is working on a longer and thinner wing that would improve lift and reduce drag. Plus, the design will incorporate folding wingtips. The concept draws inspiration from the flight characteristics of birds, particularly the albatross. Furthermore, it is currently evaluating several engine technologies for the aircraft. The leading option is the open fan concept, which is being developed by CFM International. Unlike today's turbofan engines, the design uses larger exposed fan blades instead of enclosing them within a nacelle. Airbus and CFM believe the technology could reduce fuel consumption and carbon emissions by around 20% compared with today's most efficient single-aisle engines. Besides, the manufacturer is also studying lighter composite materials alongside a new aircraft systems architecture that brings together electrification, digital technologies, and connectivity. Airbus had previously indicated that it was targeting around 2030 for the launch of its next all-new aircraft program. However, that timeline has now slipped as the company shifts its attention toward delivering the thousands of aircraft already on order. Speaking at the Berlin Aviation Summit on June 9th, Airbus CEO Guillaume Faury said that the company's engineering resources should remain focused on increasing production and delivering aircraft rather than developing a new airliner, as reported by Aviation Week. He said, "We need to focus on priorities. I share this message with my suppliers. A good idea that is not focused on our priorities is a bad idea. Customers want to achieve their planes as specified, on quality, on time." During the first quarter of 2026, it delivered 114 aircraft, down from 136 during the same period a year earlier. Additionally, April deliveries also declined 5.7% year-over-year. There have, however, been signs of improvement. Airbus delivered 81 aircraft in May, marking its strongest monthly performance of the year and exceeding the total recorded during the same month in 2025. Overall, it has booked 815 gross aircraft orders since the beginning of this year and continues to target 870 deliveries in 2026. One of the biggest factors slowing Airbus deliveries has been ongoing supply chain disruption, particularly involving Pratt & Whitney's geared turbofan or GTF engines. The engines power at least 40% of the A320neo family, Airbus's best-selling aircraft. However, Pratt & Whitney has been dealing with manufacturing issues involving contaminated powdered metal used in certain engine components. This has left hundreds of A320neo family aircraft grounded as airlines wait for engine inspections and repairs. Along with that, it has also affected Airbus's production plans. The manufacturer has accused Pratt & Whitney of reducing the number of engines allocated to its final assembly lines. Indeed, the A320 family remains the backbone of the manufacturer's commercial aircraft business. In fact, it became the most delivered airliner family in aviation history in October 2025. Such strong demand has led Airbus to steadily increase its production ambitions to 75 aircraft per month. Subsequently, to support higher production rates, it has continued expanding its industrial footprint. In October 2025, the manufacturer opened a second A320 family final assembly line in Mobile, Alabama, and also inaugurated a second A320 family final assembly line in Tianjin, China. However, ongoing engine delivery delays have forced Airbus to postpone its planned production target from 2026 to late 2027. Currently, the A320 family also accounts for the majority of Airbus's order backlog. Indeed, the challenges are perhaps best illustrated by the Airbus A321 XLR program. The extra-long-range narrow-body has experienced notable production delays as supply chain constraints continue. For instance, many of the components used across the program, including forgings, castings, brackets, wiring harnesses, and cabin sub-assemblies, are supplied by smaller Tier 2 and Tier 3 companies. Many of those suppliers have yet to fully recover from the labour shortage and financial pressures experienced during the COVID-19 pandemic. The aircraft has also faced delays involving engines, seats, galleys, and lavatories. Of course, the specific supplier varies depending on each airline's cabin configuration. Several airlines have publicly acknowledged the delays. On the XLR program, unfortunately, we have been on the receiving end of several delays in the program, and these aircraft are, the better part of 2 years late from what we originally anticipated when we made the order, Air Canada Executive Vice President and Chief Operations Officer Mark Nasser told Reuters. Air Canada, which has ordered 30 A321 XLRs, received its first aircraft in April, while United Airlines took delivery of its first aircraft earlier this month. Indeed, the size of Airbus's backlog alone explains why the manufacturer is prioritizing deliveries over launching a new aircraft program. However, another factor has also contributed to pushing the timeline further into the future: engine technology. The European plane maker is considering CFM International's Revolutionary Innovation for Sustainable Engines, or RISE, open fan concept for its future aircraft. Unlike conventional turbofan engines, the RISE concept uses an open fan architecture that leaves the fan blades exposed rather than enclosing them in a nacelle. This is designed to move a greater volume of air at lower speeds, improving propulsive efficiency. In addition, the engine is also being developed for compatibility with 100% sustainable aviation fuel and potential hybrid electric technologies, which align with Airbus's long-term plans for its next-generation aircraft. Since the engine is expected to play a central role in the aircraft's performance, the manufacturer is unlikely to launch the program until the technology is more mature. Engine testing was initially expected to begin in 2027, but has since been delayed until 2029. As a result, an aircraft program launch before 2031 now appears increasingly unlikely. Hopefully, Airbus will be in a position to launch its next all-new aircraft program sometime during the next decade. Given the challenges the manufacturer is currently facing, however, delaying that decision appears to be a strategic one rather than a technological limitation. Airbus has thousands of aircraft still to deliver, and ensuring those customers receive their orders has become the company's immediate priority. A commercial aircraft consists of millions of individual parts sourced from suppliers around the world. Every component must arrive on time and meet strict quality standards before an aircraft can be delivered. Delays affecting even some critical parts can disrupt the entire production process. Under those circumstances, prioritizing deliveries over the launch of another major aircraft program is a logical step. More broadly, Airbus's decision reflects a wider shift taking place across the commercial aviation industry. The sector has moved from a growth phase, where manufacturers concentrated on developing new aircraft, to a delivery phase focused on increasing production, stabilizing supply chains, and working through record order backlogs. If the current timeline holds, Airbus's next all-new aircraft program is now expected to launch roughly 27 years after the A350 program. What do you think? Is Airbus making the right decision by focusing on deliveries before launching a brand new aircraft? Or should it move faster to develop a successor to the A320 family before Boeing introduces its next-generation narrow-body? Let us know by leaving a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more aviation content. See you next time. In addition to our daily YouTube videos, Simple Flying publishes over 150 articles and a podcast every week. Visit simpleflying.com.